Scene one, Apple, take one.
Hi everyone, I'm Shane Borza. Welcome to another episode of Film Notes. This is normally the podcast where I interview people in the industry about their work in the industry and learn more about not only what they do, but how they do it, projects they have, and so on. But a couple things are going on. If you can notice the empty room behind me, we are moving this month. So everything is packed up and there's been a lot of life change, but also I had to reschedule someone from this month to next month. And if you've been following along the 5-year journey of this podcast, you know that one of the things I've talked about before is not only doing interviews with people, but also doing deep dives into like behind the scenes and the making of and things like that. I thought today, so I can stay on the kind of broadcast, monthly cadence, that I would talk about and also show you some of the behind the scenes, the making of vignettes and slideshows and things from film school, which is not only where I got started in the industry and like learned how to do stuff, but also how I started making some of these things, not just the film itself, but the EPK stuff, like the posters and the slideshows and the trailers and the behind the scenes things. I would make a actual DVD disc for everyone in the cast and crew with all these like bonus features. So it felt more like a real movie instead of just a 5 or 10 minute short we made at school. So I'm going to talk about what you're going to see, and then over the slideshows, you'll hear me talking as well, and maybe some of the making of videos where there's just like background stuff going on. But I do want to say overall that I always encourage people, make sure you have a photographer on set, even if it's just a PA that you give a camera to, or designate someone with an iPhone, because it's really great not only to have the photos, but also to have some of this behind the scenes stuff, not only just for yourself to look back on and remember the project, but to put it out, to share with other people that either help to finance the film. They love to see all that stuff, and sometimes they can come to set, but sometimes they can't. And if they can't, they really want to see like, what was it like? And you, as the writer, director, producer, as an indie person, you're probably all those things, or at least a combination, depending what project you're on. It's going to be very hard for you to not only remember, but to have the time to stop what you're doing, take a picture or a video or what have you. This is also really helpful in pre-production and post. So pre-production, you might be visiting sets or locations or what have you. Always have at least one other person with you, and they can be a stand-in. If nothing else, they can stand in front of the space in the room, in the landscape, and give you a sense of scale. But they can also pantomime the movements or the positions. Someone's laying down on the ground, or someone's walking in and out of a door or what have you. And you're going to see some of those pre-production and location kind of slideshows and behind the scenes as well. So hopefully this is some good learning for you and some fun stuff. So just to kind of give you a little sense of like what was going on, I went to film school in Australia. So I was in Sydney for almost 3 years. I had a 2-year program, but I had like a 2.5-year rather visa. So I showed up right before school started, and then I stayed like a semester or two afterwards, and I ended up was working on like 4 or 5 feature films back to back to back before I left. So the program was it's a tech school only, that we had no books, there was no homework, there was no writing assignments, there was no any of that. All we did was learn how to use equipment and go shoot stuff. The thing that was really great is it was a writing, directing, producing program. So they had basically 2 tracks. You could be the filmmaker track, or you could be the cinematographer track. Now, the cinematographer track was that, and that's it. They just did cameras and lenses, and they shot basically every project that was being done in the school, whether it was theirs or someone else's. The writing, directing, producing track, you rotated through like a standard film school, all the positions on set. So you basically were the writer sometimes, the director sometimes, the producer sometimes, the AD, aka the first AD, the assistant director. You were the camera operator sometimes, or the assistant camera operator. You were the sound person. You were continuity. you very much were thrown into the deep end of the pool very quickly. It was a 2-year program, so we had 4 semesters. So we used to joke you had freshman year, senior year. Or actually what it was really like is instead of 4 years of college, those 4 semesters, because you were sprinting the whole time. So your first semester, you were a freshman, your second semester, you were a sophomore, your third semester, you were a junior, and your final semester, you were a senior. So it felt very much like that. And if you have worked production, you know that it's long days, short weeks. Every day feels like it's a week long, and then the week is over, because in film school, you usually shoot week to week, project to project. And all of a sudden you turn around, you have one day off, and then you go into the next project and you go, I can't believe in the last month I shot 4 different projects with 4 different filmmakers, i.e. students that you were in school with. So the thing that was really cool about this school, and it actually has merged with another school, so it doesn't exist in the way that it did like 15 years ago when I went there. Now it's part of a university system, but anyway, it was a 2-year program, 4 semesters. You made 2 projects per semester and you owned all the rights, which was great. A lot of film schools, A, you don't make that many films, and B, you don't make your films. So sometimes you might write a film, but someone else directs it. And sometimes someone's writing it, someone else is directing, and you're just on crew. So you're part of that film, but it wasn't your project. So you're going to see 5 projects in today's episode. The first one was the first semester is called the 5-minute short, and it had a lot of restrictions: 2 people, 1 room, 5 minutes maximum. There's all these rules of things you couldn't do, kind of force you. And restrictions and limitations can be helpful. You're forced to be creative. And that was our first time kind of really doing stuff other than coverage exercises and things like that, which we continued every single semester to do those. You just got more involved. The second one was lyrical, which one of the things that's great about film school is it forces you to break down the different kinds of scenes. So every time you see a movie, there's a lyrical scene, which is no dialogue. It's portraying emotion in some way. One of the most famous is in American Beauty. There's the scene where the kid is watching the plastic bag like dance around in the wind. That's a lyrical scene. It's like a sense of emotion, no dialogue. Another famous type of scene is coffee and cigarettes, which doesn't have to be coffee and cigarettes. It just means 2 people are sitting down and having a conversation in a car, in a diner booth, in a house, in a bathtub. It could be anywhere, but it's a dialogue heavy scene, 5-10 minutes, whatever it is. So the first 2 were the 5-minute and then the lyrical. The next semester, I did a kind of a protest indie film where we were able to do a project of our choosing. And so I said, everything we weren't allowed to do in the 5-minute short, I'm going to put in this. So there's going to be sex and nudity and cars and weapons and fight scenes and exteriors and night shoots and like everything you could think of that was expressly forbidden in the 5-minute. Then we had the kind of first big project, which was called Project X, and that was because it was tailored to each individual student. So who knows what it was. That was kind of the end of our first year. And then the final project you're going to see is what we called our major project 1. So year 2, semester 1, which is our 3rd semester overall, you had a major project. So that was more of like you have a week to shoot instead of like a day or 2. All the other projects were 1 or 2 or 3 days. So they very much graduated you up in the amount of equipment you had, the amount of time you had, the budget you had more people. The first one I think was a day or 2, and we had $500 and like 5 people. And by the time I got to major project 1, you had a week and you had 10 people and you had a lot more equipment. As I went through these, I was able to start not only amassing a lot of experience, because not only you're making your project, but you're also working on everybody else's. So if everyone's making 2 films a semester, you're working on like 30 projects a semester or more. But I really wanted to make action films and thrillers and things with stunts and things like that. So I was able to get a lot of experience very quickly. So I hope that's a good overview. Essentially, 2-year program, we made 2 films a semester, and you're going to see a bit about all of them, except for my second major project, which was essentially my thesis film. So if I have another empty slot this year, or maybe coming up, you are going to see that story because that launched a lot more things. But for now, enjoy watching some of the behind the scenes, and you'll probably hear me talking again over some of the slideshows to come.
Scene one, shot one, take one.
So this is Chance, the 5-minute short I mentioned, the first project we made in film school. I thought it would be really funny to start off with a series of claps. But do take note here that there is better and worse ways to clap, and some of these are way too close. Some of them are way too far away. They always want to hold the clapper correctly, make sure it's written on correctly, make sure it's framed correctly. So as funny as this is, in retrospect, I think it's helpful to see some of this. And also just in general, like I mentioned at the introduction, it's really fun to be able to see the places you shot with people you shot. As I mentioned, I went to film school in Australia and I'm not in Australia anymore. So it's really fun to see some of this.
Scene 6, shot 11, take 1. Scene 6, shot 12, take 2. Scene 6, shot 13, take 2. Scene 6, shot 16, take 2. Scene 16, shot 17, take 2. Scene 6, shot 18, take 1.
Next up is the crash zooms. I wanted to definitely stylize this. So when you see the completed work, it's black and white, it's very atmospheric, it has a lot of crash zooms. You know, I love kind of that 70s filmmaking vibe. And even though we shot this like handheld on a camcorder, which was another thing that I chose to do, you still have to figure this stuff out technically. As you can see, we're trying to figure out how to get the crash and the zoom both. That's a good example. Making sure they're both in focus.
Bring your head back up and touch for us.
Thank you. Last one.
Good.
Yeah. And
Yeah, we're still rolling, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last one. Cut.
Cut!
Okay. Can you do it one more time and go all the way in again? All the way up. Okay, you're scared and concerned. Let's do one more because you want the camera. Scared, concerned. Cut.
Cut!
Okay.
This section is called the cutaways, which are kind of B-roll things that you always want to make sure you shoot. So one of the things we did to make this really fast and easy, because we were shooting handheld, is I literally told the DP, just run around with the camera, and I gave him a list of things I wanted him to shoot. So shoot the door, shoot the wall, shoot the steak that the guy was choking on, you know, shoot the dream, which is I'm gonna go to Paris, you know, shoot the picture of the woman on the wall as if like that was his long lost love, or you know, maybe it's his daughter, who knows. It's just symbolizing somebody that is important to him. And as you can see, the DP is just putting his hand over the lens and he just shot continuously. So it was very easy for me to just download one long take and then chop it up into pieces and then label them, you know, TV, door, steak, knife, wall, Paris, lady, you know, whatever. But ensure you get these because you don't want to be stuck in the edit.
And then just that.
Just give you a slightly different perspective.
Alright, that's the last shot. That's a wrap.
Hey!
Thank you, everyone.
So now this is the wrap and we're just rolling. I did not know that we had this until afterwards. And we just got some of this beautiful like behind the scenes of us at the end of the day, which was, again, great. And you can see the crawl here. I mentioned at the beginning, I made an actual DVD and I had a label maker. So I put the image of the film and everything. I really wanted to have people feel like they worked on a, quote, real movie.
Yes. My goal was to stay on one tape because I was like, I want to be under 12-to-1 ratio. We're allowed to shoot up to 20 to 1,
Yeah.
which is 2 hours for 6 minutes, which is a lot.
Wow. Yeah.
But the industry standard is like 12 to 1, which
Yeah.
would be like 60 minutes for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Or something like that. 66 minutes. That's a one take. And I was like, all right, I should be able to get 6 minutes worth of film in an hour.
Yeah.
So we have 9 minutes left. So
He's just lying there, just filming.
it's like my pterodactyl.
My pterodactyl. Pterodactyl player. Oh, we're white.
I'm handing off really over to you because this is like your place that you know. So however you want people to do things. What I would like to do
equipment and then
is if we can have you put away all the camera stuff, and then if Maddie do all the lighting, and I'll go get the blacks down and stuff,
yeah.
and then
Sorry, excuse
I
me.
will
Going to
put
sit
everything,
like
throw
this.
everything in my van, and then we can start cleaning up and putting the stuff back. Does that sound good?
That's my
What would be so I can have
I told him I'll be. I'm going to bloody up there. And he said a day to come back to his. A day to come back because I'm thinking of his. It's a day to come back to mine. Like with you makeup.
James,
So want
give
to.
me the camera so you're in the film too. Oh, is he filming me right now?
I'll actually do that.
So again, just some of the behind the scenes of, so we basically had 2 rooms. You had the bedroom, entry room, which that actually is a closet. And then you had the kitchen room, which we did sheet. Technically, we're only supposed to have 1 room, but we showed, my argument was, we showed 2 sides of the same wall because the kitchen is across the wall from the TV. So I was like, yo, he just walks from one side of the wall to the other. Like, so behind that, because we only shot that in one direction, like facing the kitchen, that was where the crew hung out and the makeup was and everything you see on the table there.
No.
Oh yeah,
We
you
have
guys.
to
You
edit
guys have
our
been doing
phone
stuff.
this one guy. Oh my god.
But I'm saying I haven't done anything. I'll clean up later.
I don't know whose phone.
I wonder if we actually like win the lotto. Are these out of date tickets?
No, it's all new. We're gonna.
Can we keep them? Keep them. Keep
Yeah,
them.
of course.
I was about to throw them out, but I was like, hang on.
Nah.
This is one of those stories we're totally gonna win, and it's gonna be like, wow.
Well, that's what I said. What
It's like
if
meant
we
to
went
be.
For real?
Would we split it, or would we
Yeah,
get
yeah.
into like a massive knife fight?
Yeah.
We know who would win.
We should give everyone one.
We should split it. Hey,
Yeah.
it's like $50.
Cut.
Cross-eyed.
Next, we have a slideshow of some behind the scenes where you're going to see a little bit of everybody setting up, getting into the space. There's a doggo on the property, which was really fun. So people were hanging out outside and like petting the dog and things like that. We had to black out the windows because it was supposed to take place at night during a rainstorm. So we sprayed all the windows with a hose and then we blacked them out. And then of course we had to take all that stuff down later. But you're just gonna see some photos of people hanging out on set before, after, and during the shooting. This was on the property of one of the guys. He was producing this short and he said, I know it's a little bit out of the way because it was like over an hour drive. He's like, but we can get it for free and we could do whatever we want. I was like, great. So we went out ahead of time and walked this space and figured everything out and decided, yes, this is definitely the place we're gonna be. And then we went out and shot there. You're also gonna see some of the makeup tests. The story essentially is that that young kid is outside getting chased and beaten up by somebody, and he just finds an open door and runs inside to hide, and he accidentally stumbles upon this guy who was playing the lotto, discovered he wins, and chokes on his steak because he's like, and hence the name Chance. What are the chances So small crew, like I mentioned, this is our first production, so I think we had like 5 people, but again, it was great, and I hope you are all having good shoots with good people.
Moment, roll 1, scene 1, take 1. Director Shane Borza, Pete Magdus. 30th of the 8th, 10. Okay. All good.
Go from land. So I'll take sunnies off.
And yours?
Yeah, go ahead and start with your sunglasses off.
Hey?
You're holding your hand,
Alright, okay.
and then we'll just start from,
Right,
and then just turn to them.
okay.
Okay. Alright, first positions, going for take, roll camera.
Yeah, rolling.
Okay. Shot 10, scene 1, take 1.
Got it.
Here we are with the second project. So this is still the first semester of film school. Now we're doing a lyrical, which as I mentioned is a 1-scene short film focusing on emotions with no dialogue,
Take 2.
which was great because we had a free location from someone else at the film school who was not on this crew, and the building was under construction. So there was a problem in that we could not have any on-camera audio anyway. I mean, we shot raw, but we didn't have a audio person with a boom mic or anything like that because there was construction noise. However, it enabled us to get some amazing spontaneous footage, which we had not planned on. So as you can see, I did start off with the clapper montage because I just thought it was really funny. But again, in retrospect, I think it's really helpful to show how important it is to make sure that the clapper is in the right position so that you can read it and you can see it.
Okay, roll camera.
Rolling.
You might get some shit off the crane. I don't know.
Yep, it's about to leave. It's about to go. Alright. Standing by for a take.
Shadow.
Good?
Yep.
Okay, this is shot 7, scene 1, take 1.
Camera rolling.
Okay, quiet. This is shot 8, scene 1, take 1.
Not too loud. Yep. Do it.
Rolling. Okay, roll camera.
Camera's rolling.
Okay,
Yep.
this is shot 9, scene 1, take 1.
Got it.
Recording. You ready? Are we going to record it? Okay, fine.
Done for a take, everybody.
Yeah, beautiful. Knock it off.
Okay, this is. Quiet on set, everybody. We're going for a take.
Okay, do it.
This is shot 11, scene 1, take 1.
Camera's rolling.
Okay, this is 11B, scene 1, take 1.
Down a bit. Yep.
You're gonna walk into shot, and then that's your mark.
No worries.
Okay. Roll camera.
Camera's rolling. Mark it.
Okay. Shot 12, scene 1, take 1.
Got it.
This is shot 13, scene 1, take 1.
Next, we did some filter tests because obviously we're shooting outside and we're shooting directly into the sun, so that was really important. And next we're doing some placing of actors with camera in the sun and some funny moments.
All right. I was like, I'm just gonna leave.
Grab it.
Here you can see a little bit of the construction. So my DP was just shooting random stuff, and actually it was his idea to go over and get some shots over there. Here you can see a little bit more of, even though it looks like a simple film, how important it is. So this is all about focus. So having actors go to their marks. And if you don't know, you have a first position where the actors start. You have to have them in focus there. And then if they're doing a move, even if it's small, she's stepping forward and putting her head on his shoulder. It's enough of a move because of the lens we had on that we have to mark both positions and ensuring we had that correctly. And then making sure that the DP, because we did not have AC, camera assistant, he has to frame the shot and get the focus correctly.
Okay, could I get your second position?
Oh. Yeah, so. Yeah, well, it's sort of there. It moves around. No, yeah.
And first.
First.
So I need to turn clockwise. Okay.
Do you want to do that? Focus clockwise.
Next is a dolly shot, which a lot of these things you don't notice, but they do really make things better. And we're really glad that we put that in, because just the subtlety of like moving with them and then stopping and allowing them to change size in frame is very cool.
Set. And action. And just tell us when you're finished with the change.
Here is some of the footage. As you can see, we're shooting from across. So this is still part of the same apartment complex, but we're on the other side and we're inside the construction area. There's a guy on camera that you can see wearing a helmet and a vest, and he was very kind to us. We basically just walked up and said, hey, we're shooting a short film across the way there, and we're wondering if we could just set up and so we could shoot across. It would look really cool. We could probably be in and out in like 10 or 20 minutes, but we're not going to be in anyone's way. And they were like, sure, let's do it.
Might be able to get it. See what I mean? So yeah. I don't need to pull further out this way a bit, which we might do it. Lose too much, so it's really
No, that's fine.
fine tuning that position.
Can you call Paul and ask him to get the actors in first positions, please?
This is a cutaway scene, which we did not put in, but sometimes spontaneously when someone has an idea on set, they're like, hey, what if we do this? And you go, great, let's do it. You know, it'll take 5 minutes, which means it'll take 20, but hey. So we just ran 3 or 4 takes of this in a row, and it was simply moving everyone over, running through it. That's it.
So just reset and we'll take 2. Ready? And action.
Gear in the background, but you can at least use that.
Allow for happy accidents. We just happened to have the camera running, getting some cutaway shots, and we saw this plane, and I just piped up and was like, yo, make sure you get that. And he's like, I got it. I'm already getting it. And that featured into the end of the film.
All right, what lens? Hold on, let's get this plane.
35. 35.
Yeah. 25?
This is 25. I need the 35.
Made it 35. Action.
And then this is the last shot, which again, we dolly in and just making adjustments until we got it. So allow for spontaneity. The more planned out you are ahead of time, the more flexible you can be on set.
Action.
I hate this fucking tripod.
Sorry, we're gonna reset to 1.
Sit to one.
Set.
And action. And just hold that. You can relax. We're just shooting this guy just above you.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta keep, clear off the side or whatever. We'll just let that go and I can do credits over this one because it's really nice.
Let me get you a bit of sky then.
Paul, can you take the rest of the gear into the apartment, please?
So you want to do that shot again? Do that shot one more time?
Yeah, let's get that one more time.
Steven,
Steven, have it.
we can do that one more time.
Sorry to interrupt the show, but we wanted to spotlight our award-winning feature film, El Cap Wedding, which tells the true story of the world's first wedding on El Capitan in Yosemite National Park. It's available to stream, rent, or buy right now, so go watch it. We also have an original soundtrack you can listen to wherever you get music. Please help by watching, listening, and going to Rotten Tomatoes to leave a review. And now, back to the show. Next up, we have my third project at film school. This actually bridged the first semester through the second semester. Essentially, this was a response film, so to speak, where we had our 5-minute project, which had tons of restrictions. And so my buddy and I decided, fuck that. We're going to do everything they told us not to do. And the initial idea was we would just go shoot this on a weekend because we had go be friends with people that have gear and help them do their projects so they want to help you do yours. So we were really good friends with the guy who ran the equipment department at the school, and we would come in early and we would stay late and we would help him clean and pack stuff and all the things. And he was basically like, I'm not supposed to play favorites, but whenever you guys need anything, just come in and let me know and just take it. So we ended up spending almost that whole first year, weekends whenever we were free, shooting kind of one scene at a time to make this protest film, hence the title. So I don't have a behind the scenes making of or anything, but I do have this slideshow, and I thought it would be fun to show you because we basically sourced everything. So other than us paying for gas and food, this was almost a year-long project, and everything was free. We got the locations for free, we got all the props for free, we got all the actors for free. As I mentioned, we got all the equipment for free. It was pretty amazing. So it had a lot of stunts and sex and vehicles and chases and all kinds of stuff. And again, we were trying to figure out how to do that, considering we were learning as we went. So there were a couple things that we reshot later once we got to the second semester, where you looked at the footage from the first semester, or we shot stuff with the wrong frame rate, or the lighting didn't match, or whatever. But pretty much it was a great experience. We learned a lot. It was a very cool passion project, and I'm really psyched that my buddy Peter that you just saw there was so helpful and instrumental. I would literally not have been able to make this. We're essentially co-writers, co-directors, co-producers on this whole thing. So one of my favorite projects, and I'm so glad I did it. So I hope that inspires you. Get some people, get some equipment, and just go make something. You're going to learn so much from that. And it might be kind of, terrible, but that's going to help you get to the good stuff later. Welcome to Videndum. This was my fourth project, so final project of the first year and final project of the second semester. This is what was called Project X, where the head of the school would sit down and do a deep dive with each student and write them an individual brief on how to set them up for success and challenge them in not only playing to their strengths, but also kind of addressing their weaknesses in the semester and a half thus far into our learning. So the thing that was really cool about this is I had a BTS person on set, and they essentially just shot photo and video of the entire shoot. This was also the longest shoot. We had 4 days. The previous 3 projects were, I think, 1 or 2 days each, and that was it. No, this was a 3-day shoot, and I did a pickup day. That's what it was. So we had a 1-day shoot, and then we had a 2-day shoot, and this was a 3-day shoot. I also had a stunt team, which you'll see. We also built sets, which this is, we built like basically a cove. And we had a number of locations with a lot of moves, so we had to figure out how to logistically enable ourselves to fit all this stuff in. So we're shooting outside on a rooftop, we're shooting in warehouses, we're shooting in parking garages, we're shooting in like a set, like in a production type situation. We had to do stunt rehearsals, which you'll see more later. And there was a lot of logistics. I mean, as you can see here, we're in a working warehouse while they were open. And as you can hear, like there was no way for us to communicate. Logistically, it was difficult, but it was very helpful to see, like, I don't know if you can tell in this shot, for instance, the people waving at the other side of the warehouse, that was my second unit. So the fact that I had myself with the DP and I had a second camera with an AC on the other side was very cool. So still a small crew, like I think we had a total of 10 people, including 2 stunt people. So still pretty small, but I'm very proud of this production. I really want to shout out the DP, Paul, and my buddy Igor, who is wearing the hoodie there, and Alex in the safety vest. That's the stunt team that I trained with and worked on several features with, and we just had a great time.
A few words.
A few words.
Yeah. A few words.
Thank you. There's a shadow on him now, on the boom.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh shit. Okay.
Why sit down here? Angela.
It's just this line here that I want anyway. So let's do it from here if that's all right. Is there,
No,
there's
you
a shadow
shadow.
still. Okay. All right. Back to the first spot.
You have to get yourself in a place where you're motivated to keep going. Really sell that moment where you have to make that decision. Okay. And then we'll just go up to this moment this time. And then just keep going along this whole, yeah. And then stop making the choice here. Let's do this. It's on the big tilt.
What? She's on the roof. She's upside down, she is.
And that is a wrap not only for Curtis and Igor and Jonathan, but that's a wrap for the whole project. So give yourself a round. Thank you very much. I was telling some various people that even my last project this semester, like 2 months ago, I felt like a student, and now this is the first time I really felt like a filmmaker. This was a big project. We had lots of locations. Today we had 2 different units, like we had a stunt team, I had a makeup and effects team. So thanks for helping me make this happen, and I really wanted a word that nobody knows what it means.
What does it mean?
Addendum means things yet to be seen. So the whole thing is about, Philo doesn't understand that the reason he's in this anguish is because he's not forgiven himself for this action that he feels is a sin.
and he has all these people trying to tell him, let it go, trust me, you're safe, it's okay. And it's not till the end when he finally gets it that he's like released from this cycle of violence where he keeps getting put in the fight scene over and over and over. He can't ever seem to get rid of it. But he was there the whole time, but he just couldn't see it. That's what Addendum. So hopefully you enjoyed that, learning a little bit more about what Addendum is and what it means. Now we have some cast and crew intros, including Jonathan, who was the lead. Next is Carlos. I had a lot of BTS, so I thought I might show them all off.
We're going to do
Chloe was great. She was the other detective, and I only worked with her the one time, but she was absolutely fantastic.
And then walk out of frame.
Only the right ground because someone had.
Stephen here, who played the therapist or the doctor, he was also in Moment. We had a great time, so I invited him back, and he was happy to join.
Orange or something silly like that.
Curtis was a last-minute addition, so I was really happy to have him join us. He's done some TV work since. Actually, he got quite well known after this.
Last shot we need to do is the shot where he...
And then Igor, who I ended up working with not only the entire time I was in film school, but on several films afterwards, several features. And we made my first feature together with him. Next is the crew, my buddy Cameron, who I worked with many times. He's as talented as he is silly.
I've come to today of your women.
This is Paul, who I also worked with many times, and that's his camera, which he was all excited about. He said, you know, I got this new camera, I really want to use it, can we shoot on this? And he's like, I promise you it'll work out. And I was like, great, let's do it.
This is my 7D.
Yeah!
He'd be well.
You have to be comfortable.
Say it in an accent, Russian accent.
Oh wait, can I show people?
You have to be comfortable, my
Can I
friend.
show people
Yeah,
a magic trick?
that's
What
the
do you
money
think?
shot.
I need to do something for my bottom.
Angelo, who was a professional actor when he was younger. Michelle, who was an awesome AD.
That's right, bitches. Addendum.
Put women on your sets, both in front and behind the camera. They're excellent.
It's not a new one. Offering food, some chips, just saying. Everyone chip in.
Take some of Paul on dial.
Jonathan, who was very quiet but very good. And of course, myself.
Alright, it's gonna be like a cancer ward. Sick.
Behind the scenes,
That guy.
Tozer and what's his name?
That guy. The Beaver. MVB.
And Michael Beeman behind the camera. My MVB, most valuable Beeman.
We did.
Sure Beeman took before of you guys underneath the hood.
Oh, really? So you should see some of the photos we have from yesterday are amazing.
Yeah. Next up for Addendum, we have one of the banners from the AOF Film Festival, which I not only went to for a decade, but also helped run, was one of the featured films that year. But you'll see some of the pre-production where we found some of the locations, specifically the warehouse, and some of the wardrobe tests before we get into the actual production slideshow to follow. So here we are in the actual production itself. Again, you'll see the AOF banner here. It was very cool to have a relationship with a film festival, especially as it grew and became an umbrella for other festivals, to not only meet a lot of people, but see them year after year. And Addendum was one of the kind of darlings of that group of festivals. It was focused on action, martial arts, stunts, that kind of stuff, but they also love, genre in general. And as you can see from some of these images, we're shooting kind of a eerie type looking film, which had, you know, shadows and darkness, and not only the fight scenes themselves, but just this eerie mood. And I was really psyched to, again, have a very small crew, but because I had a photographer on set, I have these great, you know, I told them, don't just shoot all the locations and the props like a normal kind of set photographer. I really want you to shoot the people. I want everyone to have good photos of them on set. Not only headshots, but them doing the work. And that is a good tip that I used for every set I've been on ever since. While someone is in costume, in frame, you cut the camera that's filming and you say, hold on one moment, let me take some photos of you. Not only is this helpful for continuity, but again, people really want to see themselves doing the work. They want to be able to prove it to other people. Oh, this is me on 10 different sets or 10 different years of me doing this or what have you. But it can really build community if you're trying to fundraise or crowdsource. You know, people love all this stuff. It makes for good social media content. It makes for good behind the scenes content. It's really helpful when you're putting together a pitch deck or you're trying to go through Indiegogo or Kickstarter or something like that. So again, I'm really psyched that I have all this, and I hope you enjoy seeing some of this. This is a great way to learn. We don't have DVDs anymore with all the behind the scenes, so I thought I might take some of these out of the archives for you. Some of the images you'll see in this slideshow for Addendum, you may have seen in the production one, but this is basically all the set photos in one. So we're just gonna run through this quickly. So day one, we did all the shooting at Philo's place. Detective Philo's the main character. So the bedroom scenes, the hallway scenes, the bathroom scenes, all of that was done. And then we went to the therapist office and shot all the stuff in the cove that we built. I had to go buy a huge amount of material to build that, and we did that in pre-production. And then we did the day two shooting in the parking garage and on the roof. Again, I sourced almost all of these locations. The cove was one of the production studios in the school, so that was obviously available to us. The warehouse was, again, just a happy accident. I had a friend who said they were interested, this was someone at the film school, in becoming perhaps a location manager or working more in production. And they said, what do you need? And he's like, I need this, this, and this. And they're like, oh, let me go find it. And they did, so it was fantastic. More fight and stunt rehearsal. Basically everything in the warehouse was a fight scene or involving a stunt of some kind. You know, punches, throws, kicks, choking, blood spits, you know, all kinds of stuff. And again, we were in a working warehouse full of machinery, so there was a lot of safety that had to happen. So I had a fight choreographer, a stunt coordinator, and a safety officer. And my stunt team was really two people, but between the two of them, they were able to rotate through those different positions. But really excited to have done all this stuff. Again, we learned how to cheat everything. Like here, we're faking that they're on the floor, that we can shoot below them. And it just taught me so much. So again, I really encourage you, you know, go be audacious and make something, and you too can have stuff like this. Quick intro here to the stunt reel. You're going to see Igor breaking back at his Igor MMA dojo, training Jonathan for all of the fights and stunts. Enjoy. Now, if you're just listening to the podcast, you're not going to be able to see any of this, but this stunt reel is going to show you how Igor is teaching Jonathan how to do rolls and falls, and then he breaks down each fight one at a time.
The way this works is if I was to toss you into something, I would pretend I'm tossing you into something. So I would go, I would toss my hands, but everything else would be go from whatever you're doing. What I want to do is a little bit, which I call ballet, which is choreography. Yeah? So we do a couple of steps together, And I'll slowly extend my arms, slowly roll out, and you slowly do your reaction. So we do everything at like walking pace, yeah? I'm gonna grab you by the neck, yeah? I'm gonna grab you here. And you're gonna go 2 steps, 1, 2, and I'm gonna project. That's it. Then I'm gonna come back, you slowly try to get up, I'm gonna grab you again, and I'm gonna go again. Yeah? Good. The way we're gonna grab and project is, I'm first gonna push you into the wall. When you bounce off the wall, I'm gonna slide you through. So it's walking pace again, so we'll come up to you and I'll just go. And when you bounce off the wall, I'm just gonna grab you.
And action.
And he's going to go into the chokes and what a real choke looks like and feels like and why it has to be done a certain way on camera.
What I want to do is I'm grabbing your shoulder, so if you start defending and pulling on my hand, you're pulling on your own shoulder and I'm not using my arm to defend. Now this arm never comes up front so you can defend again, but stays behind and slides in
Like that? Yeah.
behind. And now you see how my fingers are relaxed? I'm not using my arms to choke, I'm going to use my back to squeeze up. Yeah? Wow.
So fast.
Now, see what you're doing in the moment is you're doing you're separating yourself.
Oh, I'm separating from my
You're not
bicep.
separating it, look. I'm
gonna
here
hold
to
it.
here, I'm leaning on top of him. See that? Alright? Yep. I'm lying on top of him, what I'm doing is I'm using my whole back to choke. So I don't lift myself up, I don't use my arms. Again, this is something that you visually will see in films, but again, it's not realistic. If I do this, see if he grabs my top arm, Shane, pull it down. That's how you defend. The reason why I'm asking you to do it here, now grab my top.
Real.
Well, grab it now and pull it down now. Pulling against your own head for that. And I'm not using any extra strength. Here, you can just pull it off the head.
So really, when you see someone choking in a movie and they've got the
It's
head,
like that, that's not it.
Yeah.
My idea is to do this. See how I turn you over? I turn you over with this arm so you don't have that arm to defend. And it's easier to turn you over like that. And I'll come across and grab your shoulder so you can start defending. Then after a few seconds, I'm going to let that arm go and I'm going to start coming in here to tighten up that choke, which gives you now more time to, act that you're losing even more air. And then I'm going to give my arms like a little kind of twitch so it feels like I'm tensing up even more. So I'm going to go. And now you're gone, yeah? But you're still alive.
Everyone needs to be alive at the end of the day.
Next, we're going to teach Jonathan how to fake a punch. He's going to also show us how it's done.
Rolling?
Rolling.
This is the hand thing.
And lastly, we're going to do the throws, not only so Jonathan can experience what it's like to be thrown, but how to land properly and go through choreography.
Do that. All right? You right?
Yeah.
Next is headbutts. Obviously, if you have someone behind you, you have to make sure you do it correctly so you don't actually hit them in the face or smash them in the nose.
Okay.
Just do it once.
Just go once.
There you go.
Okay. I'll go again without my hand. So now pull my arm down.
Which arm?
Just tell me.
Yeah.
Still pull it up.
Break the hold.
Just use both hands. Pull it down, and then lift your head up and go. Yeah. No, that's too far. Did you see that?
Yeah, because I hit
You hit my shoulder.
Yeah.
Right. You have to stop here.
Yeah.
And last, you'll see some of the stunts from the production when we were on set.
And now
now that's going to be the space for you to move your head. So just tilt your head a little bit. Yeah, too much. Just stay where you are inside. And just a little jolt. That's it.
Okay.
Yep. Alright, ready? We're doing rehearsal? Yeah. And action. Roll away. Right.
The blood spit was very cool. I really wanted to have this, and I really want to thank both Cameron, the makeup and effects wizard, as well as the stunt team and Igor MMA, because they really helped me be able to put this all together. So go hire really good makeup effects people and really good stunties, and you'll be super psyched with the results. One last section here on Videndum before we move on to the next project, and I know there's a lot, but this is the first project where, as I mentioned, I had a behind-the-scenes person whose sole job was not only to help out with continuity by taking lots of photos, but also shooting everything. I told them, think of yourself as a cinema verite documentary filmmaker and just capture as much as you can on every set in every location that you can. This is just photos from the warehouse, mostly the day when we did all the stunts and fights. We were there only one day, but we felt like we were there for two, because all morning were the scenes with the detectives talking and Philo kind of wandering around in a haze, and then we did a break. We set up for the stunts, and we did a big rehearsal with the safety officer, and then we had lunch, and then we came back, and the afternoon was all just the fight scenes, which you're seeing some of the imagery here. It was really fun to go in and dress the set, and then this was the last day of the shoot. So once we did all the stunts, which I was told always do them last if possible, because that we have an injury or something goes awry, you don't lose an actor. So just want to thank everyone again. What a wonderful experience. I love making this film. Well, here we are, year 2. This was the 5th project, so first project of year 2 in the first semester. So that was like our junior semester, so to speak. And was very excited to shoot in an amazing location and do what they call a coffee and cigarettes. Basically 10 minutes, 2 people talking in one location, and had a great time.
Recording.
Cameras.
Rolling. Camera 1 rolling.
Shot 1, scene 1 to 8, take 2.
Got it.
Got it.
Camera set.
Camera 1 set. Camera 2 set.
Camera 3 set.
And action. Need a hand out there, Shiv? Very much. There you go.
One of the things that was so cool about this and very challenging is we were shooting in a vault. So as you can see in the footage here, if you're watching this, it was very small, cramped quarters. So we had to do a lot of creative things. Basically, we did a couple shots from outside the vault on a tripod, and otherwise it was like the DP laying on the floor or sitting behind the chair, or we put cameras on the shelves and we had to move the bankers' boxes and everything. So it was technically very challenging, but also super fun.
Oh, it was like you weren't, you didn't come in, but you were so close. Like frame.
Right. Okay. Shot 3, take 1.
Got it.
Thank you.
Low session. Do you want to shoot it from there?
Yep. And Paul, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, and action.
Need a hand up there, sugar?
Again, the logistics made this very challenging, but it was really fun. Again, it's 2 actors in a room. So you only have 1 room to deal with, you only have 2 people to deal with. I also wanted to learn how to shoot sex and intimacy and nudity and all that. So no one gets totally naked in this, but we did have both actors in their underwear and like sitting on each other's laps and touching each other. So I also had to do a lot of choreography, and that was really good to learn as well. And also learn like how to shoot people to make them look amazing. I mentioned choreography before, and this was really an offshoot of me learning choreography through going to Stunt Academy, which I did after film school because I was working on a lot of stunt films with my buddy Igor, is choreography, whether it's dancing or an intimate scene or a fight scene, it's figuring out the spacing between 2 people and having them work together to keep that spacing correct. So if I'm gonna hit you in the face, you need to move so I don't really hit you in the face. But she is doing things like throwing the shirt on the camera in the POV shot and on the guy's face. They have to learn where to touch each other and where not. So all of this was learned in this film, and it was great because nobody took it too seriously. We took it seriously enough that it was professional, but we all had a good time, and we just got over it. Like, look, you're both gonna be in your underwear all day today. There's only 5 people on set. Like, let's just do it and have a good time. As I mentioned previously, I was really blessed to have gone to this international school. It was really great to learn from not only the kind of, predominantly we were in Australia, so we're learning the quote unquote Australian method, but we had people from all over the world and we collaborated together really well. Everyone worked really hard, but we had a really good time. We were able to riff off each other. Like here, he didn't have any money in his wallet, or his pocket rather, because I had forgotten to give it to him when we reset, and we just rolled with it. So I'm keeping the credits in here because I really want everyone to be recognized for their work. And a lot of the short films that I made in film school, I redid them later when I had more time and more experience and more money, so I could put proper color correction and mixing and music and all that stuff in, and they went to film festivals, and most of them were nominated or won awards. So I'm really excited that you could see some of this work here, and I really encourage you all to go out and make your own stuff.
Camera's rolling. It's gonna take him a second because he has to get ready.
As a final note, as you look at some of the production stills from this last project, I really want to reiterate taking your time. Obviously, when you're in school or you're under a time frame, if you're hired to do something and you only have a certain amount of time, you have to deliver. But if it's your own stuff, as much as we, or at least I, sometimes feel like I have to do it right now, there's something to be said for re-examining some old projects that I had made years previous and said, hey, I made this 2 or 3 years ago when I was in Australia. I was never really happy with the edit. I have better skills and more knowledge. I have a better team. Like I said, I had more money, I had more time. I really want to take this thing that was perhaps a B or even a C level film and turn it into a A or even an A+ film. So as you're seeing here, some of the cast and crew, I really want to thank all of them. Renee Lim, who I consider the star of the film. Steve is also great. We worked on a couple things together, but Renee, I've been in a movie theater in America and yelled out, holy shit, I know her, because she was in a feature film. So it's a great way to celebrate people's work, and I hope you're making great projects. One last thing, I want to remind you, this is both a YouTube show you can watch as well as an audio podcast you can listen to wherever you get podcasts. So please check it out. Like, share, subscribe, all the things. And if you'd like to help me out, you can go to my support link there. And also watch our feature film. We'd love to have you see it. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to support the show, please click on the link below. You can also contact me at my website if you have any questions about filmmaking or anything else. Off to the side, you'll see a couple of my books, Film Notes and the Film Notes Workbook. I encourage you to check those out if you'd like to learn more about filmmaking. See you in the next episode.
Scene 1, Apple, take 1.